Hello everyone, it's Kavita from Red Door Yoga and thank you for joining me for the Red Door Yoga Mini Sutra series online. Today I wanted to talk about the art of touchstoning. So the idea behind touchstoning is to engage with something consistently but not for long durations with every engagement. This is something that is incredibly effective if you want to develop a skill or you want to develop a behavior, a way of behaving or acting in your life, a way of being in your life. Very often, if we want to develop a skill or if we want to develop a behavior, most of us actually think that we need to commit to this thing in such a way that we put intense time behind it and we must do it all the time. But the truth is, you will get far if you engage with it for short durations, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, okay? Short durations, but consistently. So I have in the past talked about meditation as an example. If you want to cultivate a meditation practice, it is much more powerful. You will get far if you do 5 minutes of meditation today, 5 tomorrow, 5 the next day, 5 the day after that, okay? So you're not looking to sit down for an hour, but you're actually touchstoning on your meditation practice every single day. So when you're touchstoning, do you have to do something every single day to touchstone? No. There is variability that can be had. So for myself, I have recently decided to go back to archery. It's something I did, over 30 years ago when I was in high school. And I'd been thinking about it and thinking, I really enjoyed it and I wanted to go back to developing that skill and developing the self-mastery skills that it helps with, such as the focus, breath control, bodily control, nervous system control, etc. that would come along with archery. So I went and I got myself a compound bow and then I started working with it. I started to get to know the bow a bit. Okay. And what that meant and what that means is that I set up my target, which does have to be set up and taken down. So I would set up my target and then I would spend, at first I'd spend, 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most shooting this bow. And then, it might be the next day or it might be 2-3 days down the road. I'd set it up again and I'd do another 10-15 minutes. Then a few days down the road, just a few days, I'd come back again, set it up, and I'd work a little bit more. Now, at this point, for the most part, when I go out to shoot my bow, I now put in about 20 minutes to half an hour. Now, I'm not sitting there and timing out myself saying, I've got to put in 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm just going out and there's a comfortability with the bow now. There are things that I want to work on in, any given session, let's call it that I spend with my bow and arrow and my target. And that's how much time I'm spending on it now, is about 20 minutes to half an hour. It's okay if one of these days I go out there to engage with the practice and I decide to go back to 10 minutes. That's okay. What's important is that I am engaging with this thing and then not allowing too much time to go by before I re-engage. And that's the art of touchstoning. It doesn't have to be every day, although every day is powerful, okay? Every day is powerful. But I have the leeway to say every 2-3 days, 4 days, 5 days, whatever it is. But just don't let it be too long a period of time in between. At most, I really want is a week to go by before I touchstone on something again, whether it be my archery or some other behavior or some other skill I want to develop. At most, once, a week in between. Over time, you want to be able to shorten that timeline so that you're doing it, let's say, every 6 days, every 5 days, every 4 days, okay? There's no rush. You want to get used to engaging, but not requiring yourself to be there for long periods of time. Engaging, stepping away, re-engaging, making sure you never get too far away from the engagement, but still allowing yourself space. This has incredible impacts on your mind and your mind's comfortability with whatever skill or whatever behavior you're trying to cultivate. It has incredible impacts in its willingness to be there with that practice. That's one of the things I think that most people have trouble with. That they decide they want to develop a skill, or they decide they want to change a behavior. And because they ask too much of themselves, too much concentrated effort, right, that it just becomes this thing that repulses them. They don't want to be there. So touchstoning allows you to want to be there. You're only there for, 10, 15 minutes. You want to be there for that time. It doesn't require a lot out of you, but you're not letting yourself get too far away from the practice before you show up again with it. It's going to become a friend. It's going to become something, whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to start to become something that you actually find yourself wanting to go towards if you use that art, the art of touchstoning. Okay, so if there is something that you're working on, self-mastery is a great example, okay, or a skill you're trying to develop, I'd like you to try to approach it with that art, with the art of touchstoning. Start to notice if you're asking too much concentration out of yourself in terms of your engagement with this thing. And if you're not enjoying it, break down the length of time you're spending with it. You shorten it a little bit and then give yourself maybe a few more days in between, but then make sure it's no more than a week in between, okay? That you're coming back to this thing 10, 15 minutes, no more than a week in between, okay? All right. And let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear from you. So, if there's something that you're going to work with the touchstoning with, put it in the comment section so I know what you're working on. And then later on, come back and comment on the video again. Let me know how it's going. Okay. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment section, please and thank you. Do like the video, do share it with others. I ask you to share the video so that others can actually hear the yoga philosophy that we talk about, and it can be helpful to them, and it expands the philosophy community that Red Door Yoga is trying to reach out there around the world, because this philosophy is incredibly helpful to us as individuals, but it is incredibly helpful to us as a wider community. Okay? Thank you, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again online very, very soon, and I look forward to hearing about how your touchstoning goes. Namaste.